Hey, this is Pete McGowan, FA Manager at Baker Bookhouse. I'm here today to bring you a preview of a future episode of our podcast called Pages and People, where each week here on YouTube, you'll see a sneak peek of our newest episode. You can find the full conversation streaming everywhere you get podcasts, and now also with video on YouTube. Our first guest is Mary Marantz, whose new book, Underestimated, seemed to arrive out of nowhere, but has already left a deep mark. With their signature authenticity, vulnerability, and quick wit, Mary invites you into a story that both entertains and challenges, leaving you wanting more with every page. Personally, I've been telling friends how much this book has impacted me, and I think you'll see why pretty soon. Let's jump right now into our conversation with Mary Marantz.
We think if we're perfect enough, no one will ever leave us again. And so the unraveling of it has come in the realization that shiny is a stiff arm and that we hold people at distance so that they don't leave us, right? We hold them away so that they don't run away. I have bit by bit, from speaking on a stage to conversations like this, just been able to witness over and over again that it is actually honesty and vulnerability and not knowing all the answers that pulls people closer. The perfect's actually pretty boring. So everybody who's meeting me for the first time and you're catching up, the elevator pitch version of the story is grew up in a super, super single wide trailer in Appalachia in rural West Virginia on the top of a mountain called Fenwick Mountain. I always joke, whatever stock photo you have in your head of rundown trailer, that is it, basically. Wow. Or you can go to thebookdirt.com and on the actual cover of that book is the actual trailer I grew up in.
Oh, so cool.
Husband Justin, who's a photographer, took the photo the first time I brought him home to meet my family. And so then I grow up there and I end up at Yale for law school, which is kind of a bit of a whiplash moment, sort of a Willy Wonka's golden ticket moment. And boy, if anything will give you an underdog complex or an addiction to being the underdog, that is it. And then as soon as I graduate Yale, I turned down 6-figure law firm offers in London and New York to start a business with Justin, a photography business, without a penny to our name or a clue what we were doing.
Wow.
But we chose the road less traveled, whatever. And so being who we are, Justin went to RIT for advertising photography, which is the #1 photography program. I went to Yale, which is the #1 law school. So we felt like if we were going to do this, it couldn't just be like a successful photography business. It needed to be the top of the top of the top. We were going to prove everybody wrong who said, ooh, Golden Girl has just fallen from grace. You went to Yale to become a wedding photographer. Which fair enough is a very expensive way to do that. I don't recommend it. But so we did that for 15 years. We traveled all over the world. Wow. We began teaching photographers and had an online platform that had thousands of students for our photography courses. And just as we hit every single dream we had set for ourselves in the photography industry, I said it was about time to get back to the original dream that I'd had since I was 5 years old to become an author. And so I signed with Revell in 2019 to write 5 books. And this is number 3.
I'm excited for 4 and 5 after being exposed to this. That's such a cool story.
Yeah. I will say just one other thing I always add. I did a post like this on Instagram a little while back that got really popular, and that is none of it is wasted. Not a single bit of it is wasted. I use that law degree all the time. We use our photography all the time. Those photographers who are our students are some of my biggest readers and champions.
So cool.
So none of it is wasted. You take it all with you. So the very first sentence in the entire book starts off, for some of us, it just takes a little longer. For the life of us, we can't seem to understand why other people can just decide on a thing and then go do it right away. They implement, they execute, they achieve. Without so much as a second thought or a look back over their shoulder, they simply shrug it off, Elle Wood style, and keep right on trucking. What, like it's hard? Meanwhile, sometimes, okay, all of the times, we're our own worst enemies. We shrink, we self-sabotage, we play small. We repeat the lesson until it is learned, only we never seem to learn it. The way we speak to ourselves, we would never speak that way to anyone else. The doubts and the fears and the venom we spit inside the flickering neon-lit corridors of our own well-rounded, wounded, raw nerve-ending minds still shocks even us sometimes. How quickly it can all short-circuit. We look up startled from this busy work of our own hands forever pulling at all these loose threads, this expert task of our own unraveling, and wonder who could actually hate us enough to keep ripping us apart that way. Believe us, no one is tougher on us than us.
What would you say to somebody who is exposed to this information for the first time or new? This is new to them. And it sounds good, but it also seems like I don't know that I can do this. Are there any first steps that you have found helpful as you've coached other people, or as you've dealt with this yourself?
And this is going to be a really unexpected first step, but it's going to be like thinking about the end in mind, keeping the end in mind. So here's what I mean by that. There's a really beautiful quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes that says, most people will go to their graves with the music still inside them unplayed.
I would like to know what your definition of underestimated is.
Oh, yes. Boy, I like that question. So I really, when this idea came and tapped me on the shoulder, a la Liz Gilbert style in Big Magic, I couldn't believe it picked me. I truly felt not in a like, oh, I'm not deserving of it. It was just more of I can't believe this hasn't been done. And I can't believe I get to be the one to write it. Like it knocked the wind out of me in the best way possible. And I was very thankful that because she talks about if you're not paying attention, it will move on. I was really grateful I was paying attention. And so when I first thought I was writing a book called Underestimated, I was 100% convinced that it was going to be 100% about when other people do this to us, when they look right through us, when they don't see the magic we have inside, when they uninvite us, when we don't get a seat at the cool kids table, when we think we're not one of the ones who are going to matter, right? Any of that stuff. Or I had so many amazing teachers in high school, but I had one teacher who said to me, if anybody's going to make it out of Richwood, West Virginia, trust me, it will not be you. And I put that in my back pocket like jet fuel. Underestimate me. That'll be fun. But the book had opinions. These books have opinions and ideas about what they want to be. And the book said, it's going to be about 20% that. It's going to be about 20% of the book, because that's a thing that happens. That is something other people do. But it's going to be 80% about when you do it to yourself. And right there on the top of the cover, it says, because the person counting you out the most just might be you. And so that to me is where the real transformative work of this book happens, because we can't really control what other people do, but we can control when we do it to ourselves.